Welcome to Catholic News Roundup. I'm Christine Niles. Today's July 4th, 2025. Happy Independence Day. Here are this week's top stories. A leaked report is showing that most bishops did not want restrictions on the traditional Latin Mass. Vatican journalist Diane Montagna obtained a copy of a 2021 survey of the world's bishops, revealing that the majority were satisfied with the way the Latin Mass was being implemented in their dioceses. This conflicts with the stated reasons in Pope Francis' 2021 document, Traditionis Custodes, which made it appear as if most bishops requested the suppression of the Latin Mass, leading to its worldwide restrictions. The 2021 survey also revealed, quote, a constant observation made by the bishops is that it is young people who are discovering and choosing this older form of the liturgy, going on to note that they're drawn by the sacredness, seriousness, and solemnity of the liturgy. This observation was also withheld from the public in Traditionis Custodes. In a rambling response Thursday, Vatican spokesman Matteo Bruni refused to confirm the authenticity of the leaked documents.
I'm not confirming the genuineness of the texts that have been published. This is part of one of the documents on which the decision was based, and this, of course, is very, very incomplete and partial reconstruction. Now, the consultation that's just been mentioned was then supported by other documentation, other reserved reports, and further consultations that the Dicastery for the Doctrine of Faith has received. But I won't add anything else because this has nothing to do with today's press conference.
But a book just released by Don Nicola Bucks, former consultor to the Vatican Congregations for the Doctrine of the Faith, as well as for Divine Worship, confirms the authenticity of the documents, while supplying even more information, namely individual summaries of the bishops' responses on each continent. The overall picture makes clear that where the Latin Mass was implemented, the bishops were generally pleased with the results. And turning to the UK, a bishop is backing down after a scuffle over Holy Communion. Last week, Member of Parliament Chris Coughlin loudly complained after he was denied Holy Communion for voting in favor of assisted suicide. He lodged a complaint with Bishop Richard Moth of the Diocese of Arundel and Brighton, who apparently backtracked.
At the masses the following weekend, at all three masses, he publicly announced that I had broken canon law and he was denying me communion. What was even more galling about it was that, as he was well aware, there were children in the congregation who are friends with my children. So the public naming and shaming of this was pretty horrific. Yes. I've spoken with the bishop and raised my concerns with him. I'm planning on meeting with him. It was good of him to say that it is not the Church's position to deny Holy Communion over this. So to a certain extent, the priest was acting on, I guess, his own initiative.
As a note, the courageous priest in question, Father Ian Vane, has written to Stella Maris Media, saying, quote, first of all, many thanks for the coverage and encouragement you've given over the local events here in Dorking. I've had many emails of support. I had no idea that the court of public opinion would be as much as it has become. You can watch our in-depth coverage of this story by going to stellamaris.media and watching the Forward Boldly episode. And in Africa, one cardinal is pushing back on claims that the Africans were the only bishops to oppose blessing same-sex couples. Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo, head of the African bishops, said in an interview Tuesday, quote, the position taken by Africa was also the position of so many bishops here in Europe. It's not just an African exception. In 2023, Pope Francis issued the controversial Fiducia Supplicans, which allowed for the blessing of homosexual couples. While it forbade blessing the unions, critics said it was a distinction without a difference. Ambongo made a special trip to Rome on behalf of the African bishops to meet with Pope Francis and received an exemption from Fiducia Supplicans. This resulted in a document unique to the African bishops titled No to Blessings of Homosexual Couples. And in New York, the Bishop of Syracuse is condemning a blasphemous pride mass in his diocese. The June 15th mass offered by openly gay priest Father Fred Daly led to massive backlash on social media.
So the rainbow is a beautiful, beautiful symbol of God's diversity. And we're called to celebrate God's diversity. And that's what we're about here today. So for Pride Weekend, let's have a nice hand of applause, especially to our LGBTQ folks here and those joining us.
I was married for 33 years, and when my husband died, I decided to transition from female to male. I worked with a mental health professional and doctors. It was the right decision for me.
After we contacted Bishop Douglas Lucia on whether he would discipline the priest, his office responded. Quote, Bishop Lucia did not approve in any way how the Mass was celebrated at All Saints Church, going on to say, the liturgical violations are in no way condoned or approved by Bishop Lucia, and he is addressing this matter. After the bishop expressed disapproval of the pride flag, it no longer appeared on Father Daly's live-streamed masses from June 19th onwards. And in Pennsylvania, the university is stripping a transgender swimmer of all titles and apologizing to female athletes. In a July 1st statement, the University of Pennsylvania expressed regret for allowing transgender Leah Thomas, a man, to compete against female swimmers in the 2021-22 season. The school has agreed to strip Thomas of all awards and titles won against women. This officially closes the investigation against the school launched by the Trump administration, ensuring it follows his executive orders protecting women. Swimmer Paula Scanlon, who was forced to undress in front of Thomas multiple times a week, became emotional over the victory.
The University of Pennsylvania told my teammates and I that we had to undress in a locker room with a 6'4" tall male athlete 18 times per week. In addition, he broke every record in every event that he swam, went on and won an NCAA championship title, and also every single time Thomas competed on behalf of the University of Pennsylvania, a girl on the team was asked to stay home. Upon the situation unfolding, many of us were unhappy with the situation, and so people tried to speak out about it. They sent in administrators and they sat us down and they told us a few things. They said, first, don't speak out against this because you will be on the wrong side of history. They said you will be tainted by this. You will never be able to find a job. They told us that if we did not want this man in our locker room, that it was equivalent to not wanting to undress someone based on their race in the 1960s.
And in pro-life news, Planned Parenthood has officially been defunded for 1 year. On Thursday, the House of Representatives passed the Big Beautiful Bill, which contains a provision stripping the abortion giant of approximately $800 million in taxpayer funding.
The motion is adopted.
Planned Parenthood was panicking before the vote, claiming hundreds of abortion mills will shut down. It's already happening in Cleveland, Ohio, where the Midtown Clinic has already closed its doors, blaming federal funding cuts. While some pro-lifers are hailing the defunding as a victory, others insist on more. From American Life League, a 1-year defunding of Planned Parenthood is no victory. It's a disheartening concession. It's like allowing a criminal to temporarily pause violent acts, knowing they'll resume soon. That is this week's Catholic News Roundup. Please visit stellamaris.media and sign up to our email list for all the latest news and updates. You can support us by liking and sharing this content, as well as supporting our sponsors. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless your week. I'm Christine Niles.